Okay, this is the Q&A video, but before we get into that, in my latest video, somebody was saying that I shouldn't drink or smoke, and I appreciate the concern, and I don't advocate drinking or smoking. Um, you know, I understand that your will to power is the moralizing tendency, and so you have to spread this virtuous message. And I agree with it. You probably shouldn't be drinking or smoking. Seriously, though, I'm being a little facetious right now, but seriously, drinking and smoking, probably not good. I agree with you. Okay, seriously, I'm not being ironic. Okay, but let's get into the Q&A. My brother's gonna read them off in no particular order, and we're probably not going to get to all of the questions, so there might be multiple parts to this at some point, but this is part one. So, what you got?
Let's see, I guess we'll start from the bottom. Jesus Christ, there's a lot of these. What interested...
Who's like, you just mentioned whoever's...
Zeta Harkaran. What interested in Greek/ancient literature?
Probably just trying to understand other books, like starting on other books, and then realizing that everything is kind of referenced back to the Greeks. Like if you were to like start off reading, let's say if I could restart reading and just start from the beginning, I would want to start with the Greeks, with Homer, the Iliad, Odyssey, then read Greek tragedy, Plato, Aristotle, all the Greeks. Try to get as much of that as you can, because everything else kind of builds off of that. But I would say that's why. What else you got?
Next one, somewhat related, by K. Troyborg. Spending all this time immersing yourself in literature, have you ever thought of writing yourself? What about learning some Greek or Russian?
Oh, Troy, I think I talked to this guy. You're cool. I like this guy. He's pretty cool. Writing, I suck at writing. Seriously. I can function, I can get thoughts across much clearer just by speaking. I'm bad at writing. When I try to write, I think a little too much about the words that I'm trying to say instead of just getting them out. I should probably work on it, honestly, but speaking is kind of easier for me. But Greek or Russian, that would be really cool. Greek, I would love to learn Greek, but I have heard that it is extremely difficult. So that's a lot of time. I don't know if I'll ever get to that, but I do think that would be quite cool. So thank you for the question. What else?
Next one is by Outside Denier. I second the life story request and any religious background to go with your life philosophy.
The second request.
There's a lot of people requesting that.
What is the question? My religious background?
Yeah, it's essentially just seconding a request to hear your life story and as to whether or not you have any religious background to go with your life philosophy.
Yeah, I do have religious background to go with my philosophy. I would say that it's probably pretty ingrained in me, and anybody that lives in a Western country, I would say your ethics and your morality has probably, at least to some degree, been influenced by Christianity. And I am influenced by Christianity, and a lot of the values that I have are Christian values. And I guess I'm drawn to philosophical systems that have something to do with, that are sort of related to Christianity, because as Michael Segru would say, religion is kind of like a language. And same with philosophy, it's kind of like a language. But my first language is Christianity. So if I can connect things back to Christianity, it's very helpful. So yeah, it's definitely ingrained within me. As far as my life story goes, it's not very interesting. I was born and raised in a small town, homeschooled, both of us, and we were raised in a Christian family. My lovely parents are both Christians. Very good people. Very good people. I love my parents. I'm actually at my parents' house right now making this video. Life story. Pretty much graduated from homeschool, and well, I was working while I was in homeschool, working for my uncle, mowing lawns. I ended up working for a dog groomer, bathing dogs. That was interesting. I hated that, but I loved the people that I worked for. And then I went and worked for the builder that I worked for, Kaufman Built, and they're family friends, so I kind of had an in there, and I've been working for them for 4+, almost 5 years. Learned a lot. Great people to work for. Moved out, bought my house. That's really my life story so far. You know, there's only 23 years of it, not a whole lot. I think I had a great, tremendous childhood. My parents are definitely not rich. There's no generational wealth. You know, I didn't go to college. They didn't have money to send me anywhere. Nor did I really want to go to college. But I'm super thankful for everything that I have and all the opportunities that I've gotten in my life so far. And yeah, I would say that's my life story up until now. Only 23 years though. There's still more interesting stuff coming up, I'm sure. So maybe not a super interesting story there. Sorry. What you got?
Next one is by Orlando Frazier. What is the goal of philosophy, and is it possible to know too much?
Okay, I made an entire video on this, but I'll give you the broad strokes. What is the goal of philosophy? I think it's specific to what you want to know, what you want to do, how you want to structure your life, living the good life. And I think that everybody has sort of inherently within them things that they are more or less attracted to, or things that resonate with them the most, things that you are convinced of. And within philosophy, you can read lots that you don't agree with, but there are lots of things that you do agree with. And what I like to do is take all the things that I do agree with, and it gives me perspectives to look at how I do that, and gives me more things to connect my beliefs back to, and more things to think about. And I really like that. But what is the overall goal? I would say it's the good life, the correct life. But it depends on what philosopher you're talking about. Plato, it's how to live the perfect life, how to think about the world around you, how we can come to a conclusion on the world around us, and have certainty about the world around us, and go up from the realm of opinions. Unfortunately, I think his project fails, but he is I love Plato. Plato is probably my favorite, along with Nietzsche. So these are polar opposites. Personally, for me, philosophy is not about whether I agree with the person. It's whether I really like the way that they present what they're thinking about. I can totally disagree and still love it. That's a beautiful thing about philosophy. Not everybody's like that. A lot of people are dogmatic. They just want things that they agree with. So if that's the case for you, find something that you agree with. That's it. What else you got?
Bon Candy asks, hey, hope you're doing well. What's your favorite book to movie adaptation? Is there any author you auto buy no matter what they publish? Do you keep track of quotes of favorite lines from books? If you don't mind, would love to hear a few.
That's a great question. Favorite movie book to movie? I think we both know. No Country for Old Men. I think it's the most faithful, and the things that it does not have, the things that it removes, are things that are it works for the plot. It works. It's just cutting out shoe leather. That's a great one. What was the other part of that?
Is there any author you auto buy no matter what they publish?
Plato. But he stopped publishing a while ago.
Still waiting on another.
I'm still waiting on another drop from Plato. Same with Nietzsche. As far as I don't really read any like current authors, and you know Cormac is dead, but I would definitely not auto buy him his books.
I did that for his last 2 books, and then he fucking died.
Yeah.
Like, God, no. You know? Good last 2 books to end on. But yeah, last one. Do you keep track of quotes or favorite lines from books?
Yeah. There's some that I have no other choice but to have in my head. As far as what they are, though, I literally can't pull one up for you right now.
Oh man,
they come up like in conversation. Just something reminds me of it, and then I'm just like, boom, got it. But like, yeah. I wish that I was better. Like I could just sort of do that, but it's really just like something has to be awakened within me for that quote to come out, you know? But I can't just like start from a baseline and just like list out all the quotes. Some people are like super good at that. I've never been good at like memorization. If I memorize something, it means that it meant something to me or it resonated with me somehow. And I do have plenty of those, but I can't like, it's only when it's related to something else that I'm thinking about, if that makes sense. So sorry, I would drop them, but can't do it right now.
Next one from Poon. Oh no, Poonam de Hillion.
Punani?
Poonamd Hillon. I'm American. I can't pronounce that. Any recommendations for getting into philosophical communities, specifically for someone who has this as a side interest? Finding YouTubers is fine, but any discussion boards or stuff like that. Oh, and I also just wondering if you're into languages.
Communities, I don't know. I'm actually that's kind of what I'm sort of trying to create right now. Trying to get a Discord going. You're gonna cringe at that. People have been asking for a Discord. I'm not like a big Discord fan, but I kind of want people to be able to talk about stuff. Because I'm just a guy that reads, you know? It's like Padre Pio says, don't come to me with this, go to God. I'm just a friar, or I'm just a priest that prays. You know, I'm just a guy that reads. And so are you guys. So I would like to create some sort of community like that where you guys can just come in and chat about whatever you're reading. So I would like, you know, we're working on the Discord thing. So hopefully when we get that going, then you can go there. But other than that, I'm sure like Reddit, I hate going on Reddit, to be honest. A lot of no offense if you guys like Reddit, but a lot of insufferable people that, especially on like philosophy, really Reddit, they're just full of, actually guys, and all they do is like, they're so concerned with being 100% correct. Anything you say must be 100% correct. We can't like let anybody just talk and like conversate. Well, we need to be 100% correct about this. I really hate that. You know, people that are like pedantic like that drive me up a wall. So, and I think Reddit is full of those people. But if you have no problem with that, go to Reddit, I guess. I don't know. I really don't know. The whole reason I started talking on my camera to my phone is because I don't have anybody to talk about this stuff with, so I just talk. Okay, interested in languages. I'm not smart enough for that. Anything else?
Ahmed Abk. Hi Silas, your videos on the Meditations by Marcus Aurelius was great. I have a question regarding living according to nature. As the Stoics say, we are by nature both social and reasoning. Many humans aren't just driven by base instincts or a will to dominate, as Nietzsche said. So can self-overcoming, Nietzsche, and virtue, Stoicism, coexist?
That's a really good question. Can virtue and self-overcoming exist? I guess it depends on like what you mean by virtue. I don't mean to play the Jordan Peterson "What do you mean" game, but what are the what do you value as being virtues? I guess as far as like overcoming, where it's like you're overcoming these things. I think that this is totally possible. Um, there are lots of virtuous people. I would say my father is one that had ideas about, like, say, Christianity that he's overcome and gotten to a new level on it. And he's a completely virtuous man. I don't. I think that these two can coexist. I don't know if Nietzsche would agree, but who says you have to listen to Nietzsche? Who says you have to listen to any of these people? Find out what virtue is to you and do your best to follow it, but don't become, I would say, to take a page from Nietzsche's book, don't become dogmatic about it. Question yourself. Question whether these really are virtues that you should strive for. Self-examine and self-overcome. I don't know if that's a good answer, but that's all I got right now. What else?
Athos 96. Hello, Silas. Have you always liked to read, or you developed this hobby in your 20s? What other hobbies do you have?
Developed it in my 20s? Yeah, probably. Probably when I was, probably like 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know. I mean, I've read, like, I didn't really start to like reading until, probably started off in my 20s. Before, I hated it because I was forced to read, and I'm dyslexic. I got learning disabilities. So in school, if I don't like, I always felt that if I didn't care about whatever I was reading, I just couldn't comprehend it. But then I found out that I was interested. So I found things I was interested in, and I was able to comprehend it. What was the other part of that? Any other hobbies?
Yeah.
Yeah, people always ask me about this. I would say shooting, shooting is a hobby. What else? Like, training. We call it's actually not fun, guys. You're not allowed to have fun when you train.
It's called practice. Once you're training when you're learning something. When you're perfecting it, it's practice.
Yeah. But there's nothing, you can't have fun with that. You have to be really serious all the time.
No gay jokes while you're pulling a pistol out of your pants, discharging, into a soft body. Cannot be having any fun with that. It's not fun, guys. It's very serious.
Yeah, it's really important with philosophy and anything you do to always be really serious and never have any fun. Because that's the right way to live. The right way to live is that you never enjoy life, but you live it just perfectly. No, you should be having fun. But other than that, besides reading, besides shooting, I really, there's not a whole lot to do out here. So just kind of driving around.
Drinking.
Listening to music.
Drinking, smoking.
Drinking, smoking. What else? Like climbing stuff. You climb.
Photography.
Photography. That's true. But that's another thing you're not allowed to have fun with. No, photography is fun. Yeah. Disc golf. That's a fun one. And you don't have to be high to play disc golf. I think that's, there's probably more, but I can't think right now. What else?
Oh, Malik LY says, what is the best book to start reading journey with? I think the first book will make all the difference between loving or hating the habit.
Depends. I think kind of like what I was saying earlier, depends on what you're interested in. Because if you're interested in something, reading is like no problem. Reading is pretty easy. Sometimes there is kind of like a barrier to entry, or there's a point within books that you kind of have to get a certain section in where you might have to force yourself to read. like the first couple of like first 100 pages. If you can get through the first 100 pages, a lot of books you'll be hooked. But it depends on what your goal is. If your goal is just to enjoy, reading casually, I would say whatever. It could be a novelist. It could be like Dostoevsky. It could be Shakespeare. It could be Homer. Like I say, I would recommend starting off with Homer if you want to learn about philosophy and why a lot of other things are connected back to that. I would recommend starting there. Also, the Bible. It depends on what you want. Depends on what you like. As far as like easy books, I don't know.
Let's just cut the shit. Read Blood Meridian.
Yeah, read Blood Meridian. It's a hard one. It is hard that can be challenging, but it's so good. Blood Meridian, I would highly recommend it. But honestly, as far as like reading level goes, now I haven't finished this book, so maybe it's wrong to recommend it, but Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? It's very easy to read. Or somebody like Machiavelli, people who aren't like grandiloquent and just sort of are like cut to the chase. They're not concerned with like very like trying to sprinkle in like too much like poetry with their prose. Like Paradise Lost is almost it's difficult to read because it's just okay, so here's something happening and then here's this like massive poetic, like it's like Nietzsche talks about this sort of war between poetry and prose, and it just doesn't really work. So something like that, it can be hard to get over.
Yeah,
but
don't read that book. It fucking sucks. I'm just gonna look. If you want to hear 3-page long descriptions of how grass is wet, interrupting a story of how Adam's walking naked in the garden, go ahead and read it. Otherwise, that book sucks. I mean, it's good for understanding how people's understanding of the Bible was kind of evolved in the 1500s or something, how it's got to where it is now. But it's horrible. Honestly, it is absolutely an awful read. It's like pulling teeth.
for some people might really like it. I tried to get into it. I couldn't do it. I think if I went back now, I might be able to get through it because I have a bit more of an appreciation for that stuff. But it did seem a little clunky, like it didn't really mix very well. But I would say Shakespeare, like Shakespeare plays, reading like Hamlet, King Lear, Macbeth. These are awesome plays. Same with Greek tragedy; they're great and they're short, so you don't have to like but you can keep rereading them and pick everything up because there's a lot in there. But anyways, I think that's it for that one. What else you got?
You could also, if you want to read the same story, you could pick up a Lou L'Amour book.
This is true.
Those ones are very, very easy to read, easy to forget, easy to pick up another one, and then read the exact same story told slightly differently.
But that's not good literature. I wouldn't recommend getting into that unless you really got nothing better to do.
Yeah, there's a couple ones that are okay, but okay. Next one is from Sam Salsa. Sam Salsa. A little Arabic there. Just found the channel and loving it. Your vids remind me of Elisha Longs. Any chance he inspired your channel somewhat?
Yes, very much. I always enjoyed Elisha's videos because what he does essentially what I'm doing of just like hitting record and talking, and I'm so burnt out with the formulaic YouTube videos that with just like over editing, crazy thumbnails, like you feel like a product watching them. In a video, what it means is that what Elisha is doing is it's all him. It's all his personality and what he is saying. There's no editing. There might be a split cut here and there, but it's all him. It's all his personality. So it feels like just chatting with your buddy. And that's what I want this to be. But I happen to have some different, interests, I guess. But I really like Elisha because he kind of exposes some insecurities within me and encourages me to like get better at like certain things like like retard maxing. Retard maxing is not always easy. I think Elisha's a great. I love Elisha. You know, I don't agree with him on everything, but yeah, he has inspired me a lot. He's great. I recommend you guys go watch him.
Leon's Place Carrotkin asks, in what way has philosophy and classic literature made your life better / made it progress?
Made my life better. Well, I think that you make friends with books, kind of like Michael Segru would say. That was something he said that I was like, wow, this is very true, because in a way you come back to books and it feels like reuniting with an old friend, and and it came to me in a time in my life where I felt like I didn't have a lot of friends, and I've just always been interested in these things, and I feel like it's it's changed the way I think, changed the way I speak. And I think that it's made me, it's just given me more perspectives on life, and made me, I think, a more of a complete person. But, you know, there's plenty of areas where I'm totally lacking, okay? I don't, you know, it's hard to say exactly how it's improved, but it's helped me through my life, I would say. Like, mentally, and it's always just been there for me. I really, really like it. Was that all of the question? Was just how has it helped me, or what is it? How has it affected
in
me?
what ways philosophy and classic literature made your life better / made it progress?
Progress? I don't really know. What do you define as? What do you mean progress? I don't know. Progress. Yeah, I guess I probably answer that. I just think I've, you know, have more perspectives and ways of like thinking about the world, and it's helped me reason better and think clearer. I would say that's probably my answer.
Amira Hadirid, Amir Aharedi asks, how type of book do you enjoy reading mostly, and why? Is there a reason behind choosing classic books? Are you read whatever you read to look for an answer for something important to you personally? If yes, what is it?
Do I look for something? Do I read books to answer something important to me? No. A lot of times I just am interested in what people think, honestly. If I were looking for some sort of answer to something, I think knowing a lot of books, knowing a lot of authors, you can find answers to a lot of your problems, but nobody has your exact life experiences, and you gotta work through those things yourself in a lot of cases. But encouragement and knowing that other people have experienced similar or the same things as you, you know, there's nothing new under the sun, so you're bound to find somebody that's been in the situation that you are in, and you can find these things in literature. It's everywhere. It's particularly incredible when you find somebody like Dostoevsky or Tolstoy, or you know, or Nietzsche, that can you just shine a light on things that are like sort of in your brain, and they percolate up when you read them. It's very cool. I think that hopefully that answers the question.
It's sort of like looking on Reddit for answers to your car problems from someone who posted something 15 years ago.
Depends on what your problem is too. You know, some problems can't be fixed by reading Dostoevsky. You know, it's just, and I don't know what a good answer to that is necessarily. I don't think that for me. I don't think that it's like I'm really looking for like a self-help type of thing. When I'm reading books, I will find those things, but it's not that I went into it looking for it, I guess. but you take those things away from them and you keep them. I would say that's my answer. What else? We'll do one more and then we'll end the video.
Up 7ift. Hi Silas, what made you start posting on here? Like, are you trying to get something out of it or just doing it for fun? Plus, I think you're cool. I can't decide if I want to be you or be with you.
Thank you. You should be with me. I don't know. What made me want to start? Probably boredom and Elisha Long. He says, Elisha said one time, he said that to be a man is to be seen, and that you should try to, if you have some sort of interest, you should do your best to like try to bring people together with whatever that interest is. And I think that that's super cool, whether that be locally or online. It's never been easier to like start this. Literally all I do is hit record on my phone and then upload, hit record on my phone, talk, and upload. And I've been lucky enough for the algorithm to randomly pick this up, But it started off as just reading books, reading things, and then if I talk about them, there's a reason why they make you present on things in school, is because it helps solidify things in your brain if you're able to talk about them. So that was part of it too, is to help myself. But then it's also just fun because I have thoughts in my head and I don't have a journal, so I just like talking, I guess, to get things that I have things in my head that I just kind of want to get out sometimes. But that's a good question. Thank you for asking. This will be the end of part 1. I'm not sure how many we got through. If you started from the bottom.
Yeah, we got quite a few more.
Okay. Well, we'll have to make a part 2 maybe next weekend or some other time, whenever you're available, I guess.
5 minutes.
You gotta leave in 5 minutes?
No, I got plenty of time.
You have 5 minutes.
No, I'm saying we make another year in 5 minutes. Just keep going.
Just keep going? No, we're gonna end it here. But 30, because it takes forever to upload these videos, partially some of the reason why, and I'll run out of storage on my phone if they go much past 30 minutes. So we'll see you in the next one.